It's 5 o'clock. Call Public Works meeting to order. Ask clerk to call the roll, please.
Ron Kinsley.
Here.
Mark Helwig. Randy Newman. Chuck Van Etten. Jim Evans. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Number 5, certification and compliance with open meeting laws.
This meeting was noticed to the media and public as required by Section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Number 6 is the meeting agenda. The agenda is set. Number 7, public comment. Mr. Mirotek, please try to keep it to approximately 3 minutes. State your name and address. Thank you. Ms. Zoomer? Thank you. Is there anybody online? Number 8, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, which was July 8th.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Mr. Helbig, second by Mr. Evans to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Maintenance Department report. We have a written report from maintenance. Do we have any questions regarding that?
I'm here online.
Thank you.
Just basic work orders opened, work orders closed. We did begin moving UW extensions. It's pretty much moved down to the Oasis building. I have some storage items to move and some items to set up down there. And then we'll continue on with ADRC moving back to courthouse and forestry moving down to Oasis also. That'll continue on this week and probably next week. And projects, Glassworks installed the mural panes in Court Branch 2 offices facing the courtyard. So that's been completed. Otherwise, that's about it for projects. As far as the 27 budget, no changes really. Employee count's the same. The only changes would be, just like everything else, the wage and benefit increase. And then for CAP, the normal squad turnaround of 5 units. Did put in a request for a maintenance truck, and then the HHS vehicles and the county fleet also, a few vehicles, and some other building upgrades. The building upgrades are primarily for the jail and just stuff that's requested and needs to be done or looked at. And Mike and Randy have those requests. Otherwise, that's about it.
Anybody have any questions for him? I have a question regarding the storage building down at the Oasis building. Have you had a chance to look into that? What's in it?
I haven't looked in it. Nobody has a key for it, so I know what I've been told is the roof is rotten and the building needs to be demolished. We really don't know what's inside. So I think next week we're going to look inside, see what's in there. And if it needs to come down, I guess we'd have to get a quote for that. All my guys have never been inside of it. And I know some other people have same thing. Nobody knows what's inside.
Thank you. How many, pardon? When you talk about the fleet, how many ambulance trucks do we have presently?
There's 6. Well, we received one just the other day. So currently there's 7, but the one is like 240,000 miles. So that'll be auctioned off. So we'll be back to 6.
Okay. Thank you.
I was just curious, why is forestry moving down to the Oasis building?
You'd have to ask Mike and
Yep, I'll
Forestry.
answer that. So about 2 months ago, Julia approached me about bringing ADRC back within HHS. And it's something we had talked about prior to that too. And at the same time, Extension had been asking for more space. So to bring ADRC back, we had to create some space in the building. So what we came up with, what made sense, is I wanted to put people at Oasis that don't have a lot of foot traffic, because it's a little more of an inconvenience for people to go out there versus coming to the courthouse. And forestry is cramped in a tiny little room with 5 of them, so that makes sense to get them out of there. Forestry and Extension don't see as much foot traffic. Extension already is requesting more space, so they made sense to move out there. And then sanitation, which is in HHS, will move to the Extension area because they wanted to still be close to public health for their testing. So that worked out. Then ADRC will move into where sanitation is, plus there are already a few offices that were available. So that will all work out. And then that allows forestry to go out to the Oasis where ADRC was. And then there would still be a couple offices out there if we wanted to move somebody else. We don't need to. And then also with separating ME, medical examiner, from ambulance, that used to both be John Frummel. We needed a space for the ME. That person will then go on to where forestry is.
So John is not the ME at this time?
He's ambulance, but he used to be ambulance and ME.
Right, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that, John was no longer the ME.
Yeah, he requested to not pull the double duty, I believe in,
So do we have someone?
I'll have a recommendation tomorrow, yep, for admin committee.
Thanks. Makes sense.
So 5 moves, but they all kind of make sense for the workflow. And the other thing that will help, have an ADRC back here will help the HHS vehicle fleet because they've had 2 out there that didn't get used a lot, but they needed the availability. So having them here, now they can check them out like anybody else.
How big of a building is this storage shed?
It's an old garage, probably 20 by 20, something like that.
Standard 2-car garage.
Can we just have them bring a big tractor over and?
Well, I'd like to see inside first, because from the
Well,
outside,
after-
the walls
after we-
look okay, you know, it might need to be re-roofed, but before we tear it down, I want to check out the condition, because we could use the storage out there too. He'd probably love to tear it down.
Okay. Thank you, Rick.
Yep.
Number 10, Sawyer County Airport report, Mr. Leslie.
It's August. Airport's still busy. It's actually been a really strong start to August this year. I'm not sure. I think it could be because a lot of the people that we kind of lost in those smoke week time period in July might have started coming now in August. So it's been really busy first 10 days of the month. But as I noted in my report, we lost a lot. Our biggest event of the year that we have was scaled back immeasurably because of the smoke that we had. We lost a bunch of flights that week. So July was down, but July was about the same that it was in 2024 and years previous to that. So last year was just maybe an anomaly, so to speak. The Young Eagles on Saturday, last Saturday, was something else. They did a record 60 rides. So I think, yeah, 60 Young Eagles, something like that. It was a lot. You know, it's a small building, and we've got 2 toilets. We probably had a couple hundred people there at once, you know, because then all the families were there together as well, and parents and grandparents, and there's probably about 40 volunteers for the group. So Saturday was a day. But that Young Eagles program is pretty awesome. So super happy that they had good weather on it. The wind wasn't the best. There was a couple sporty landings because the wind was across the runway. So some kids probably got a little bit better experience, better or worse. I keep in communication with Mike. Probably once a week we touch base. As we all know, there's kind of things on the horizon still sitting there for the airport that we don't have answers on yet, and still nothing new to report here, but the powers that be, whether it be state or federal government, are still working on it. Just not here at the courthouse or at our level that much. Naturally, because they fund 95% of it, so a lot of it's gonna be done elsewhere. Like to think that this year we're still gonna see movement. It's possible, you know, with the master plan that we could get that wrapped up and move into the ALP phase at the end of the year, because that ALP, once it's finalized, will have to be brought to the board for adoption. That document will be. So whether that's this year or next year, it will happen eventually. I'm trying to think. I took a video of a really big jet landing and it got over 100,000 views. That's why I don't post a lot at the airport, just because for the most part, people don't want to see their jets on Facebook. I mean, granted, anybody could take a video or a picture from, you know, outside the fence or sitting at the terminal building, but I think that people value their privacy just like everybody else does too. So I try not to make many posts. This was a chartered aircraft on that day, so I figured I'd throw one up there. And I was golfing the next night. One of my buddies from the cities, he's like, "You got 100,000 views on that video." I'm like, "Oh no." So I guess we're famous for a day anyways. But everything at the airport's going pretty good. We've had some wildlife concerns here lately, so anytime we have to deal with that, about 3 or 4 different government agencies that I have to work with to try to do things, whether it be birds or deer, get a deer problem. That's just fun. It's great. I was kind of hoping it was going to cool down because there is a deer out there. But, you know, one of the state people are like, well, can't you just shake it out and, you know, kind of corral it towards the fence? And it's like, no, there's 400 and some acres of airport that's fenced in. Most of it's overgrown. You'd need a Apache helicopter with a heat-seeking missile to find a deer on any given day. But we've got the state permits in place and we're gonna try to find it, hopefully soon. Just gonna have to wait for it to pop out. Our gates have been operating pretty good, but we've had a lot of equipment, people working around the airport too. So it's like on the south end when the charter operations, charter communications people were putting in fiber, maybe it got in then too when they had the gate open, so. Snow removal equipment, I know I said at the last meeting that we needed to work on snow removal contract. Unbeknownst to me, Rick already did it. I had no clue. I was talking with Shane on the phone the other day. He's like, oh yeah, we got that sorted out months ago. I'm like, well, hey, thanks for the heads up. I'm kept out of the loop for the most part when it comes to the contract for snow removal. I just kind of oversee it as it's happening. So I'm glad that we've got Mr. Cryer under contract for another 3 years for doing the snow removal because he's done a really good job. When Thompson's closed up shop, that really left a void. So we're really happy that Shane took up the mantle on that. And I think it's reasonable what he's doing for us. He does a good job. All the airport tenants are happy too. So any questions?
Yes.
I'm curious, why would our glide slope / ILS, why would that even come up in anybody's conversations?
Well, there was 9.
To decommission it?
Yeah,
That's-
there was 9 of them, and that was quite the letter to get in the mail. So when I
Ours
opened that
just came-
one,
got-
yeah, ours just came online not too
online
long
recently.
ago. You know, I know people too, state and federal government. You know, there's people that I could call, but in this instance, Derek didn't have to do much. The state took care of it for us.
And it's just
Yeah.
a silly thing to
Yeah.
even think about shutting off.
Well, the state put money into that system too, right? So that from the highest levels of the state Bureau of Aeronautics, they coined a letter and authored it and sent it off. And along with what I said, they're not doing that anymore. So,
That's a big safety thing. So.
yeah. So,
All right, thanks.
yeah, no, budget. We don't really discuss the airport budget a whole heck of a lot. It's kind of carryover from year over. I mean, is that on the agenda later or is that now? I guess one of the big things is just trying to make sure we have money in there for Mr. Pino to do his work out there. I know he's got a new piece of equipment now that I know has been doing a really, really good job because I've seen it myself. The results speak for themselves. So we're excited to get that piece of equipment out to the airport and continue trying to, well, I was just talking about it, 400 acres. It's a lot. So really, with the budget, just trying to make sure we've got room in there to work so we could turn him and his guys loose when they have some downtime to clear it for us.
You want to say anything about the budget?
I think Derek covered it. We added some extra money in his budget for brushing and for snow removal because that went over last year and we know what kind of winter we had. So it's like one of those things, you don't know what kind of winter you're going to have, but we're trying to plan based on what we've seen in the past. Other than that, things are relatively similar to last year.
Just make sure he sells more fuel. Number 11, Highway Department. Highway Commissioner, Mr. Pitts.
Good evening. So we've been actually pretty busy here this last month. We've been crack sealing from Frog Road down to County CC. We just about made it there today. We had actually completed all the state mowing by August 1st this year, which was really good. We're just about done with county mowing. We got a couple sections left to finish. We did do some brushing on County Double N and CC and N through 6 Mile. We opened up a vision triangle on N and Double N, which looks really good, and kind of went up the hill. Went through 6 Mile through the corner on CC towards Ashigon and towards Blueberry. We're gonna continue going up N towards E as time allows. County F and County DD construction, we actually started shaping DD today. We're looking to start paving. Monarch moved to plant today. We're gonna start paving on Monday, the 17th, bright and early. Gonna be long days. We're not working Fridays, but we're gonna be working long days, Monday through Thursday. So far, everything's moving along and going really well. Construction, obviously, as you know, has started on 27 between Carroll Drive and Boylan Road. It's been hit and miss on what section. It was supposed to be a hard closure from Boylan to Carroll. I'm not sure what went on with the state there because it's been hit and miss. People been able to sneak through there. I've talked to the project manager to keep emergency services updated. Right now, I'm currently believe it's closed from K to Rainbow Road. I believe you can get through K to Stone Lake. Don't take my word for it. It's not a county project, what I've been telling people, but I've been trying to keep up on it. So they should be done replacing culverts here, I would think in another week or so, and then it's gonna be open to flagging operations. So as they pave, mill and pave, that'll just be open to flagging operations. You'll be able to get through, but do expect delays. I did have the final walkthrough on the County Deep Bridge, working with the state, just on wrapping up a couple little things that we saw and working with the project manager on that. Otherwise, that project is done, was open last Friday. We still came in budget. We should have been a little bit under budget, but there was some unforeseen abutment issues and stuff like that that was missed in the scoping portion of it. Overall, still what we budgeted for we're there. County E, I'm down to the last two right-of-way acquisitions on the 2 parcels. Actually, I'm down to 1 now. But it sounds like that's gonna get signed and taken care of by next week. And we're looking for a November let. And as soon as we find out who the contractor is, I'm sure they'll come in and start brushing yet this fall and be ready for paving County E starting in the spring. Otherwise than that, we did receive the LISIP award for the County W Connor Creek Bridge. That's a 90-10 funded program. It's gonna cost us about $11,000 for county to replace that structure, which was good. There was 101 projects selected in the state. We were lucky to be one of them, so the state didn't forget about northern Wisconsin this time. And as of today, we're fully staffed, so other than that, everything's going pretty good. Any questions?
Did you give a end date on Highway 27?
No, that's not my project. I don't know the end date yet.
Yeah, I just thought if you had one.
I would say, just once they start milling and paving, it's not gonna take them very long. I mean, I would say a couple weeks. Yeah. The culverts were the big thing. Some of those culverts were deep, so, yeah, they had some big holes opened up.
Yep. Let her be.
Oh, let's let it be here. Oh, highway facility. So I handed out you guys a little thing I put together. Kind of, I know at last meeting we talked about coming up with 3 different ideas. I kind of came up with one that made sense for Sawyer County. Kind of put together the kind of a recommendation of what I think would work well for Sawyer County, and some of the constraints and things that we look at. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look through it yet, if you have any questions on it. I think it's a starting point. I guess we keep coming back each month and we talk about, I can only go so far with keep giving recommendations or things that we should do. I guess going forward, I would like to see maybe possibly taking a small pot of money, putting out an RFP for a consultant, maybe getting some designs drawn up and some pricing put together, so we have something to work off of, but that's totally up to the committee. I think the recommendation and the reason, as you see, is Hayward as the main facility with Radisson as a secondary facility makes sense on the mileage. I mean, the longest deadhead mile would be County W for winter maintenance, 9 miles, I believe it is. I could be wrong, I gotta double check that. I know I've looked at a lot of other counties' plowing plans and everything else lately, and they're deadheading, some of them are deadheading 20-some miles to start their plow route. I don't think it's,
Do you have a location you're thinking?
well, the reason I would recommend Radisson location for the secondary shop is because the state dome is already there and they just put a new roof on it 2
Well,
years ago.
for this, was it 600 or square foot? For the big one?
Hayward.
It would, I mean, where you are currently located?
That's where we currently are at right now.
Okay.
But I'm like, I mean, kind of as far as I can go myself, without, I guess, exploring a consultant's option and maybe putting some kind of design together and putting pricing to it so we kind of look at where we're at. I was in Russ County's facility last week before last, and kind of looked around in it, so.
They have something.
They're building right now.
Oh, they're building?
Yeah,
now.
the
Something
walls are
about
up, the roof is
the size you're
on.
looking at?
They're about 58,000. I was probably looking at just a touch bigger, just because we never know what the future, when you build these things, you build them for 50, 60 years. You know, we're currently, 50 years old in Hayward right now?
And you're thinking a Bryan area in that building?
Yep, I mean, again, without going to total design, I mean, I have it kind of laid out of what I'd like to see or what best fits the county. Discussion, I guess.
Is that something we can look at?
Absolutely. When you have that brine in the building, because it can't be stored outside, would all the trucks take brine out when they go on a route?
So that is another, right now, currently, only the state trucks are equipped with brine. Right now, it's a small tank, we don't have any brine, so I mean, I haven't put into perspective, like, the state's gonna pay for the brine maker and the tanks, right? That's like 175,000 roughly is what a brine maker costs. You say about 50,000 in tanks, 45,000 in tanks, state will pay for all that. But then we do have to pay for the equipment of the tanks and the spray bars, whatever we decide on our trucks. We currently have 9 county trucks that we don't have any brine. So there's gonna be an upfront cost, but I didn't put that together yet because I didn't have time to go and price out tanks and spray bars and who puts all this stuff on. But I did put together the cost of brine at a sheet together at a very, reducing it by like 25% of what shows you the savings over time. So I did put that together just to, and that's a very small amount, 25%. I'm thinking we could get more in the 40 to 50% of savings, eventually.
We currently can't do it because of facility.
We don't have a brine maker, for one, and then we don't have the room or we don't have the equipment.
Right, we don't have the facility to put the brine machines in.
No, and the brine doesn't have to be in the main facility. It can be a heated built structure, besides too, so. I would incorporate it into the building if that would ever happen, just because we're already building, so.
Randy, what are you thinking?
So is this something we have to add into the budget, Mike, if we want to do a consultant for a building?
Yeah, and we don't have an action item on here tonight, but if you wanted us to investigate it, we could do that and bring something back as an agenda item with a discussion and potential action.
Please do so.
Okay.
And I guess, what would you, to put it on as a discussion action item next month, so just to give me a little something to research, what would you like to see as a committee for facility? Is it trying to find green space, use the Hayward facility currently, tear down that building? Just so I have some ideas when I start looking. And as far as Radisson, what do you want to do with winter? Do you want to keep winter and just use it as a winter plowing, or do you want to get rid of it permanently and keep Radisson? Just so I have an idea what to look at before next month.
We have 40 acres in Radisson, so there's no sense of taking that structure down when it's still a good structure and you can still use it. So it'd be a matter of it adding on or whatever to have the brine and if they're gonna put the trucks in and leave the plows on? How much more heat's gonna take?
So
That's
that's one thing I was looking at. So I was gonna break this out in phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 being Hayward, phase 2 being Radisson. And I actually drew up a couple little things, kind of like what it should look like down there, and area wise. I can bring that back next month and have you guys look at it. But we need to do something with the Radisson structure too, because we do have some holes in the building and stuff, and we do have heater issues that we're fixing. And again, we do have sewer issues there. I wouldn't say their sewer's bad, but I mean, we're constantly having to have the trucks come out and pump because our grates fill up and everything there, so.
But the reason we have to have that pumped is because we can't perk there.
Right, correct.
So that's not gonna go away.
No. Yeah, we can't
So how
build.
much room do we have in Hayward?
I can't remember how many acres we have there, because we go all the way back to the other road. But the problem is we get the big drop off.
Yeah, we built on the hill.
Yes, that's the problem, yeah.
I would say bring us a couple plans, one with adding on to the current one, and then one with a facility on its own. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense?
Yeah,
And one by itself, but one added on.
if you wanna bring 3 or 4 plans, you know how much time you got.
Yeah, I can see what I can do.
As far as winter, you know, it's like most things, it's a matter of time. You know, and if the routes don't call for a shop in winter, well,
I think we could, and as you can see in this, I think we can save money, and I think we can still have a fast response. It's just the way we operate, you know, I mean, we might have to change a couple of ways we operate to get but I mean, look at the cost of having 3 of everything at every shop, you know, I mean, I got fuel tanks now that I'm getting beat up on because
Yeah.
they're due for inspections, you know, and I mean, it's just constant.
And
You know.
constituents down there might not be happy.
that's okay.
That building in winter is in pretty good shape. It would be a sellable item, correct?
Yeah, the building in winter is not bad. I mean, it's just, when you look at it from a taxpayer's plan, I mean, you're
Yeah.
9 miles apart, you know, with 2 structure, I mean, you know,
Yeah, silly.
when we could probably combine to one and add on or build and have a 50-year structure that's gonna last us another 50 years or more.
So see what you can do, bring us a couple plans, best you can. Let us see, primary 2027 budget request.
All right, so I actually sat with Mike and Randy today for quite a while on the budget. Not a lot of changes. Some things I want to make you aware of is obviously the wage and benefit increase, that's every year. The general maintenance, our summer general maintenance, I didn't increase at all. I think we're in a very good spot, with what's last year, looking back over the last 5 years. Our winter maintenance, I did increase it. It's been about 700,000, and I'm at about $1 million now, just because of the price of salt is at 109.74. We had to order 4,200 tons this year to fill all 3 locations, which is roughly what, 460,000 or so of salt just out of that. So I did increase our winter maintenance up to about $1 million. I think it's 996 or 998 or something. I can't remember offhand. So that's about the only changes. Otherwise, everything else stays pretty much the same. I did request a little bit different CIP this year, something we've never done in the past. So as far as my construction, we do have the County E project next year. That's about a little over 3 million. Our 20% match on it is roughly 862,000. I did request that in our construction CIP this year on top of our 2.3 million of road construction. And the only reason I did that is because I don't want to fall behind on our county roads, and I want to keep the crews running. With the whole turnover plan on our equipment, of selling a lot of our equipment and being able to utilize our trucks and getting off the actual cost, if we don't keep that budget, we don't create the revenue, and then we lose our money, you know? So I think Randy and Mike could probably touch on that a little bit, what we decided to do or move forward with, if you want.
Yeah, just to kind of reiterate what John said, if we don't do a CIP for that additional 20% match, we would be doing less work than a typical year with our own crew. And we're trying to get away from our actual cost reimbursement that we've been doing to what 71 of the 72 counties are doing, which is a different formula. But to get there, we need to utilize our equipment more efficiently. If we don't do the road construction this summer, next summer, then that'll hinder us in the first year, because it would be next year would be the first year, right?
Would be the first year. I
'Cause
did sign.
We're still under actual cost this year.
Sure.
So we really need to do that. It's gonna be my recommendation to do that extra one time. You know, it's gonna benefit the county. If there's one thing we do that people probably won't complain about, is doing more road work. So I think it's a good move. It'll jump us a little bit ahead. You know, John's done a wonderful job, and I've said this before, but we've got, with the amount of road work we do annually, it's between a 20 and 30 year, you know, cycle to get the roads done. So if we can do another little extra chunk, that just helps us out in the long run. I guess that's all I got on the budget.
Yeah, it's pretty much my construction portion of it. And as far as the equipment portion of it, we did a lot of turnover last year. To the good, though. I mean, everything, we're starting to see equipment revenue come in. I'm watching it, I'm tracking it, and we're starting to see that equipment revenue build, which before we never did, because we had trucks sitting, not getting utilized. We're paying depreciation, we're paying insurance, we're paying all this stuff on them. So as far as my equipment next year, I did order 3 new plow trucks that are coming in, the chassis part of it, because it takes 2 to 3 years before you actually see the truck, 2 years. And that's gonna start turning over our county fleet trucks. We're sitting very well as far as plow trucks. Our state fleet is really, really new. The only thing about that is it's not set up for paving. The trucks aren't set up for paving, they're not set up for anything else but plowing snow, and that's what hinders us. But to get the money out of them right now and turn them over, it's almost impossible, because you're not gonna get your money on them. So I gotta run these trucks and find other ways to create revenue and keep us moving forward until we can switch these trucks out, because going forward, I'm not buying any more tandem axle plow trucks for the state. They're all gonna be tries, and I'll probably throw a couple quads in the mix for hauling for townships and stuff. And for some of our plow routes that are long, like when you get 70 and stuff that are long plow routes, we can haul more material. We don't have to come back halfway through the plow route. So just be more efficient. Otherwise than that, there was a couple of small things I put in there. A lowboy, about 50 grand in the lowboy, because we have an issue with our current lowboy right now. And it's just outdated and needs to go. Otherwise, a couple other small items in there that I don't really need, but I wanted to put them in there just in case. And then I also put some money away. Our paver is a 2005 paver, so it's pretty old, and knock on wood, the maintenance has taken very good care of it, and it runs really good, but it's getting up there. So I did start putting money away this year, and I'm trying to stretch it out for at least another 3 to 4 years, because it's a big investment. But you almost, at a county this size, you need your paver, because as you can see with the funding for 3.1 miles at $3.4 million, to have somebody else do your work, it just doesn't cut it, when we can do it for a quarter of the cost. So that's all I got. Any questions?
Thank you. Great job.
Number 12, board appointment committee updates. Anybody have anything? Correspondence reports, conferences, and meetings.
Any talk with the tribe about our ad hoc committees?
Yes. I communicated with Mr. Bissonnette about a week and a half ago, and he was gonna reach out to Carl at the tower and get an update and see if the tower's been inspected yet or not, and get back to me. And also have had a request from the association to make sure we have the ATV, UTVs on the agenda when we do meet. So I'm waiting for that.
No need to worry about that, because eventually our trails will have a time limit too. Joke. Oh, calm down. Joke.
Future agenda items, we'll have the ad hoc committee, providing we have a meeting, and I'm sure we'll continue with the budgets. Finalize in business, there is none tonight, so Next meeting is September 9th. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your time.
I was gonna throw something in there.